Hello everybody, this is Peter Phelps, and today what we're going to be doing is trying to do a birdhouse. I know that probably won't show up very well there, but it's just a birdhouse, and then there's an alternate base. I'll give you all the dimensions and stuff as we go along. So we're going to start off in part, new document, in the part workbench. I'm going to try to do all this in the part workbench. So, first thing I'm going to do is just create a cube. Zoom out a little bit. And we're going to give that cube a length of 127 millimeters and a width of 101.6 millimeters, and then the height, all the boards are going to be 3/4 inch, so that's 19.05. And I should have done the math on this, but I want to try to, well, it doesn't matter. You can center it if you want, or you can do it. The reason I would center it is so that I can use the mirror feature later. So what I'm going to do, I need to bring out my handy old calculator here. And let's go 127 divided by 2. Copy that. And then we'll go back over to FreeCAD. I'm going to take this cube and change the placement. It's not axis, position. So we're going to go negative and paste in that number. And then we're going to do the same thing with the other side. We're going to go 101.6 divided by 2. Copy that. Go back over to FreeCAD. And we're going to make this a negative and paste that. Okay. So that makes, this is our base. And our base is now placed directly in the center, so the origin is in the middle of this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that cube and paste it, and then I'm going to change the dimensions to make the front part. The width now needs to be wider. Okay, and that's 139.7, and then we need the 139.7 divided by 2. Great. Copy that, paste it into the negative for the y. Then we're going to change the width, the length. That will be the 19.05. And instead of it being at negative 63.5 in the x, we're going to move that so that it is positive So now it's in front of the other block, the base. This is going to be the front of the birdhouse. And now this is going to be 12 inches tall, which is 304.8 millimeters. So that's the front face of this. Now what we're going to do is copy the base again, paste it, and now we're going to create the sides, one of the sides. So the width is now the 19.05. 19, not replacement. We're going to move this. We need to take the 63.5 and add the 19.05. 63.05. 63.05 plus 12. That's 19.05. We're going to copy that, and that's what we're going to put into the negative on the Y. Oops, I goofed up. Sorry. This should have been 50.8 plus the 19.05. Control copy. I'm going to put that here. So now that makes the side, and then that I'm gonna go ahead and make that the 12 inches. We're gonna be creating a block that's slanted to cut the tops of this because it's the easiest way for me to make that slant. So we're gonna make this cube the same height as the other one, 304.8. And then I'm going to make the back one, and again I could probably just mirror this, but what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to copy it. And then I'm going to change the placement of it. But it needs to be 63.05 plus the 3/4, which was what I did before, right? 63.05 plus 1905 is 82.1, so we'll go negative 82.1 on X. And depending on what you want to do, you can just copy this one over, or we can try to wait until we're ready to mirror it. It all depends on what you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and wait until I want to mirror it. So what I'm going to do is create another cube. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just take the base, Control C, Control V. I'm going to take that one. I'm going to change the dimensions of this to length will be 215.9, which is 8.5 inches by 190.5. 0.5, and that is 7.5 inches. And then we're going to center that on 2, so 215.9 divided by 2. Control copy that. And that will be the X. And then 190.5 divided by 2. Copy that. 95.2, and that will be here. So that centers it on the block, and then we're going to bring it up, and I'm not exactly sure if I should do the, because it's going to have to be rotated. So what we might do is just go ahead and rotate. I'm going to make the rotation on the y-axis, so 0, 0, and then move the y to 1, and I want the angle to be about 30 degrees, negative 30, the other direction. Okay, and we may have to move. See, is it sticking? It's not even sticking out on the. I'm gonna move it up though. This is the roof of the. As you can see, when it got rotated, it's not sticking out at the top. So let me look at it from the side here. Go up, and that's interesting. Let me look from the top. Why does it disappear when it goes to that side? Okay, I'm going to use that as side I'm looking from. I'm going to move it in the X, and we're going to go positive. And go up a bit more. Okay, and well, maybe forward. Okay. Okay, so that's going to be our roof and where I'm placing it. I want to copy that. Control C, Control V, and then I'm going to make the new one taller. Until it engulfs the entire part there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to create 3 of those. Copy. Now I'm going to go one of these, control one of these, and cut. Click this side, click one, cut. Click the back, click this, So now, if I hide the roof, our boards are now at the same angle as the roof is going to go on top of that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a cylinder. And this initial cylinder will be, it's a 1/4 inch dowel is what I'm going to be trying to put out for the purchase for the birds. So that's a radius of 3.175. And then the height, I'm going to make that 3/4 plus the 3 inches long, so that will be 95.25 millimeters, sorry. And then I'm going to move it up 3 inches. Do I have that wrote down here? Well, we can just go 3 times 25.4, 76.2. So placements. Paste that there. And I'm going to rotate this one on the y-axis. Degrees. You can't now you can see it, but right now you can't see where it's at. And let's see. I'm going to hide the side here. Look at it from the side. Actually, that was okay. And we're gonna come out on. If I move it half, let's see what happens if I move it the half of the 27. It's no longer in the list. Let's try that. Oops. Dang. I just screwed that up. Now, if I got that right, it should be overlapping. Yeah, okay. And you know what? I'm going to move that one up further. I think I'll go another inch up. So, 101.6, 101.6. So instead it's 4 inches up, then 3. Because what I want to do is make the ones on the sides lower. So we're going to take and copy that, paste it, and we're going to make it, well, we're going to go, the radius on this next one is going to be larger, so what I want to do is give it a half an inch between it and the other one. So I'm going to take and go 12.7 plus the radius 19.05 of the other one. That's going to be our radius for this new one. Or no, that's going to be the spacing for the new one. So I need, well, the radius for this new one is 1905. And then the spacing has to be this 101 plus the other location. So plus, what was it? 101.6, 101.6, which will copy. Control V, enter. So that should be about a half inch higher. Maybe. Okay. This is really not for very big birds. This is for very small ones. If you want a bigger bird, make bigger holes, bigger cylinders for these, and probably even use a bigger dowel. This is really set up for finches, and that's what I'm doing. I'm just making a really small hole for the finch. Now, hopefully, that's a small enough hole that snakes don't get in. We used to have a bird feeders, and we had it sitting up on top of like a post, and a snake got into it and ate the birds. So this is also why I'm going to make more than one entry, is so that the birds have a way to escape if something does try to crawl into the hole. So I'm going to copy those. Just hide the copies for right now, and what we're going to do is just take this and select the front face, select the big one, cut. Now you're going to want to make another copy of the cylinder, paste it for this one, because one's going to have to be a cut and one's going to have to be the dowel that actually is there. So we'll take the cut, take the copy of the smaller dowel, and make a cut. And so now you have a hole for where the dowel is going to be. Now we're going to bring the side back up. We're going to take and bring the two hidden cylinders back up, and then we're going to change the rotation so that the axis instead of Y is X, and then we're going to place it back at 0 on the X. Both of them are being changed at once right now because I have both of them selected. So I'll have to modify it slightly in a sec. Now I'm going to take and drop the one back down to these. this one back down to that where I wanted it only 2 inches, or was it 3 inches instead of 4? So that was 76.2. And then, did I do that calculation? So 6.2 plus 12.7 plus the 19.05. Okay, we're going to use that copy, and that will be the other big cylinder. Oops. I goofed that up. Okay. What was the number on the other one? 76.2. Oh, I minused. Sorry. There we go. Okay, and really it doesn't matter for the big one, because as long as the big one's long enough that it's going through the whole thing. But this one does matter, and it's going to have to be the 101.6 divided by 2. Copy, and it's going to have to be negative that on the Y. Let me make sure, make this disappear for a second. Alt rotate. Make sure that that's, yeah, okay. Okay, so we can bring that back up. And then we're going to copy this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this, control click this one, cut, take this, control click one of these, cut. And for the moment what I'm going to do is I'm going to fuse together this and this. And then I'll do the same thing to the front just for the sake of clarity. I'm going to hide that part, that fusion. Then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to mirror it. And I'm going to mirror it on the XZ plane. Say OK. And so now we have both sides. And we can bring the front back up. And if you want, you can name these. I'm going to call this base. I'm going to rename that one roof. I'm going to rename this one. Oops. This one's the back. And this one is front. And so that would be basically your regular little standard birdhouse. Something you could do if you wanted, you could fillet these like you would use a router or something. Like I said, you can make the holes bigger. So I'm going to call this birdhouse. I'm going to just save it. Now, the alternative, I was going to take the base and modify it by bringing it down further. I'm going to bring it down to negative 19.05. Then I'm going to make the base a lot bigger. 266.7 by 241.3. 41.3, yeah. Okay. And then we'll divide those in half so we get them numbers to move it. 266.7 divided by 2. Copy that. And that will become the negative x. And then we'll go the 241.3 divided by 2. Copy that and put it in for the y. And what we're going to do is copy the base again. This time we're going to change the width to the 19.05, and then we're going to change the position back up to 0, and then we're going to take that and we're going to mirror it. So mirror on the XZ plane, say OK, and then we're going to copy the base again. Oh, I think I forgot a step. The base is supposed to be 1 inch tall, so the height now is 25.4. Okay, and so that should change the mirror too. It's good. Okay. Now we're going to take this and we're going to change it. Instead of we changed the width last time, we're going to change the length to 25.4. I mean, not, wait a minute, not 25.4, 19.05. 19.05. We're going to change the placement back so it's back up to 0 on the Z, and we're going to change the height again to 25.4. But now we're going to make it slightly shorter by 3 inches. I mean, not 3 inches, 1.5 inches, which ends up being 8 inches for the length of that. Oh, the numbers I was doing before, it's 10.5 inches by 9.5 inches. So now this one we're going to go 8 inches, which will end up being width of 203. Whoops, 3.2. 203.2, and we're going to need to divide that 203.2 divided by 2 is 101.6. Copy. And that will be the Y placement. Oops. What did I do wrong? 203.2 divided by 2. 101.6, right? I know. It doesn't have a negative. Okay. There we go. Whoops. Do I have my numbers wrong? Maybe I need to subtract the 3/4 from that. Minus 19.05. Let's try that one. Wow. What am I doing wrong? It's supposed to be 8 inches. 8 inches is supposed to be 203.2. Let's start over. Okay. 203.2 divided by 2 equals 101.6, which is what I had before, right? I goofed up my length. Maybe that's what I did. Let's try something different here. Let's try 266.7 minus 19.05 minus 19.05 divided by 2. Sorry. 266.7 minus 19.05 minus 19.05 is 226.8. Copy. Let's try that. And then divide that by 2, which will copy that in here. let's go back in here. If I do the original 203.2, maybe that's the problem. Maybe I had the wrong number to begin with here. Let's see. $241.3 minus 19.05 minus 19.05 equals 203.2. $203.2 divided by 2 is 101.6, which is what I think this should be. Now it fits. What was I doing before? This one, why didn't it fit before? Sorry folks, I don't know what happened with my calculations and why that's being like that, but okay, we should be able to just take that now and mirror it along the YZ plane and say okay. And now we have a little ridge all the way around. And what I would do with that is I would fill this space with bird seed. So I'm going to call this, I go File, Save As. I'm going to call this Birdhouse Bird Feeder. Save. And so you could then take that and put it into TechDraw and make drawings if you want. It's a pretty simple bird feeder. What you could do if you want is put a hook on the top of the center of the roof, or you could poke a hole through there and then use like a rope and tie it off before you put the roof onto it. That's my basic bird feeder tutorial. I hope that helps some people. Hope you had a good time. Thank you, and have a good day.